What does December 19th, 2025 hold for the collective? Today I pulled the WUNJO rune for the collective energy for December 19th. And that is a really fun rune to pull, both for an individual and for the collective. WUNJO represents joy and light and opening. It represents the self becoming aligned with the self in a very complete way. Um, it means blessings and the move from knowledge to full understanding, if that makes sense. It's about being carried by the divine, by heaven, across the gap of hopelessness and pain. It's about new energy. It's about light piercing through the clouds and touching a body of water below, just as a beautiful divine image rises from its depths. It's new clarity that might lead to incredible change and might lead us to change the entire course of our lives because of that clarity. And that's exactly what Wunjo asks for when it appears in our lives. It makes me think of the holidays, of course. Right now, we are right in the middle of the Jewish holiday, Hanukkah. And of course, Hanukkah celebrates the Maccabean revolt, where the Maccabees took back Jerusalem for their people. And that led, of course, to victory and harmony. But of course, there was great struggle and loss that had to come before that victory. And so this is similar to what the energy of Wunjo represents. It doesn't mean that there hasn't been struggle. It just means that perhaps we've moved through the pain to the other side of understanding and of having a firmer grasp on who we are and what we need and what leads us to our higher selves. So materially, what does that mean for us? This has been an incredibly difficult week for humanity and for the Western world. Um, so many shootings, so many losses, so much madness. There always is, right? But this past week has been particularly pungent with fear and hatred. And this rune does not take away from all that we have lost and all that we grieve, but it does perhaps allow us to have a bit of a sigh of relief in the midst of it, seeing the other side, hoping for better, hoping for change, hoping for enlightenment through these moments of pain and harshness and hatred and confusion. Um, it asks us to look back on the enormity of our loss and to still see the light shining through it. It almost doesn't give us a choice. It almost reminds us that the light is still there, even though it feels like we've been living in darkness for a long time. So it's renewed hope. It's small victories that bring enormous gratitude tomorrow is what it could mean for you personally. A project completed, a marriage proposal accepted, a contract signed that has been long awaited. Things like that, which perhaps in the greater scheme of things, aside from the marriage proposal, which is a pretty big thing in the scheme of things, but mostly it's smaller things that maybe we'll even forget soon, but tomorrow, December 19th, they're going to be enormous because they're going to give us all feelings of hope for the collective. And this might not mean that every single one of us has a material event that causes this. However, those who do will spread the energy of that gratitude to everyone around them so that we all experience that gratitude and hope, even in a time of darkness, and especially in a time of holiday celebration.